Welcome to all our listeners. This is Radio Denmark International Broadcasting in English. I'm Julian Isherwood, and I'll be your host for the next 15 minutes with our monthly English language magazine on Denmark and Copenhagen as the European City of Culture 1996. First, some items of interest from Denmark. The first Danish troops have left for Bosnia. 81 army officers and men have gone to Bosnia as a vanguard for the 800 Danish soldiers who are to be part of the Nordic Brigade. In all, there will be 4,500 Danes, Swedes, Norwegians and Finns in the brigade, which will have its headquarters in the Tuzla region and will take part in the NATO peace maintenance operation. Denmark has provided troops for both the United Nations and NATO forces in the former Yugoslavia, and has had the largest per capita military involvement there since peacekeeping operations began. The Royal Court in Copenhagen has announced that Denmark's Queen Margrethe II will be undertaking 3 official visits abroad in 1996. At the end of February, the Queen and the Royal Consort Prince Henrik will be visiting South Africa, and in May the royal couple will be going on official visits to Jordan and Israel. Prince Joachim, the Queen's younger son, who recently married the Princess Alexandra, will be on an official visit to Uganda during February. The Danish Minister for Development, Poul Nielsen, is calling on the European Union to urgently discuss Danish proposals to safeguard developing countries in the decision-making process in the Union. He says that decisions on agricultural subsidies, quotas and technical trade barriers have a much greater effect on poorer countries than development aid. A couple of years ago, there was heated debate in the Union after it became clear that subsidized EU beef exports to West Africa were seriously hampering local beef production projects that were also receiving EU support. And that was the news. You're listening to Radio Denmark International. For those listeners who've just joined us, this is Radio Denmark International. We'll be broadcasting in English for a quarter of an hour each month on the first Sunday of each month. If you'd like details of our broadcasting times, you can contact any Danish embassy or ask for our folder by writing to Radio Denmark International. I'll be giving you the address a little later on in the program. Was the Vienna Symphony Orchestra, conducted by Eliahu Inbal, playing part of the final choral movement of one of the world's favorite works, Beethoven's Ninth. And it's Beethoven's Ninth that appropriately opens the next section of our program, the European City of Culture, 1996. The chimes of Denmark's national clock, if you will, and here I am in the middle of Copenhagen on Town Hall Square at noon. It's cold and there's snow all around me. Workmen have put the final touches to the square, which will be one of the focal points for the City of Culture 96 organization. Behind me, I have the imposing town hall with its golden statue of Bishop Absalon on the facade. Copenhagen was first mentioned around the year 1000 But it was Absalon who built a fort here and started the settlement's long road to being the Danish capital. To the left of Town Hall, as I face it, there's the imposing statue of a couple of Viking hornblowers who seem to call passers-by to the large collections of Viking artifacts at the National Museum a little further down the road. As I walk across the square towards the new black building which houses the brain of the City of Culture organization, I can see down the road Strøget on my right. Strøget was the world's first pedestrian street. It was closed to traffic in 1962 and runs all the way up to Kongens Nytorv, or the New Square, with its Royal Theatre. Even in this cold weather, and it's the coldest early winter period for a decade, Strøget is bustling with shoppers. During the coming year, I'll be walking you through Copenhagen, telling you some of its history, and talking you through some of the events and seminars that have been organized in connection with the Copenhagen 96 event. I went to the offices on Strøget of the organizing committee and asked Trevor Davies, the Secretary General of Copenhagen 96, what we can expect over the next 12 months. First, though, a bit of music from one of the groups who will be featured in January.